Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name's Aaliyah, and today I'm gonna do a video that I find very important. And this video is 10 things I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens. If you guys aren't familiar with my story, I did get pregnant when I was 19 years old. I was 20 when I gave birth, and I'm currently 20. This video is kind of just going to describe some things that happened to me, and I'm sure to other girls out there that you may not expect. The first thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens, and this is when you start sharing the news that you're pregnant with your friends and your loved ones, you're going to see like a mixed reaction in their face. Like the split second you tell them, like, you know, I mean, there's going to be reactions that are overall positive and overall negative, but for a split second, in most people, you're going to see like a look of confusion, and kind of like what's going through their mind is that they're not sure whether or not they should say congratulations, they should be concerned. But since you're so young, a lot of people will sometimes be hesitant to say congratulations because they don't know what your plans are with the baby. So the second thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens, this one is a little bit less fortunate, but pregnancy overall can be a lot less joyful than you would think it would be when you pictured it. So for me, in my video, my experience with antenatal depression, and that is depression like during your pregnancy, and basically I suffered through that, but also in general when you're young, you have a lot more pressure put on you by your friends and family to kind of, you know, step up to the plate and be there and care for this child. Or you might get yelled at, you might get stern looks or whatever. And this can make pregnancy a lot less joyful than women who are in their later 20s or their 30s who people rejoice about them being pregnant. They don't have to worry about things like moving out on your own, getting a job, you know, all of these kind of stressful stuff, and they don't have people constantly yelling at them, telling them they need to figure out their life, or, you know, maybe arguing with their partner because things are so stressful between you two because there's so much you need to solve and there's so much sacrifices to be made. You don't really have as much of that when you're older and you have more security, but when you're younger, a lot of these conflicts tend to arise, and unfortunately it tends to take a toll on your pregnancy. Okay, the third thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens. The adults in your life are still going to see you as a child, and subsequently when you are trying to make parenting decisions, you're trying to make adult decisions, life decisions, they're going to butt in, give their input. Even if they mean well, they're probably going to have more difficulty with you making decisions for your own child and your own family's needs, because you are still a child in their eyes, and they're not going to, you know, necessarily take your wishes and your authority into account because they may not validate your opinion fully as an adult yet, which is very hard. But I mean, the only thing I can tell you guys on this one is that you just have to be firm in your beliefs. You have to tell them why you believe these things. You have to tell them, and honestly, like, that's all you really need to say. Just be firm, just be strong, stick to your beliefs, don't give in, don't do stuff that you really don't want to do with your child. That I really urge you guys. The fourth thing, people are gonna constantly tell you that your life is over, whether it's in one way or another. Like, I don't mean, a lot of people will not come straight to your face and say your life is over, but they're gonna say it in other ways. They're gonna allude to it, they're gonna use euphemisms to kind of express that message to you, and this is gonna come from your friends, your family, maybe even yourself, because of, you know, stereotypes and just kind of general misconceptions about pregnancy and being young. Don't get me wrong, when you're young and you're pregnant, there are lots of sacrifices to make, there's a lot of challenges, but it's extremely rewarding, and if you are successful, then you feel on top of the world. These people are going to come up to you and say things like, I'm very disappointed in you for getting pregnant. I don't know how you're going to get a job. What are you going to do? Oh, your life is over. You're not going to be able to go out and travel. Your life is never going to be the same. You're never going to be able to go out on dates. You're not going to be able to go out to eat. You're not going to be able to, you know, go out and party or whatever. And something that you just have to keep in mind, when people are constantly telling you this, it's so easy to believe it and to fall into that, and I was such a sucker for this, and I think that's another reason why my depression really kicked me to the curb. So like I said, it is very important to be responsible, to make sacrifices for your child, but any parent has to do that. When you're younger, the list might be longer, yes. However, it's really important, I think, when you're pregnant to make a list of your goals, because yes, your child is paramount and they're going to be at the top of your priority list from now on. However, that doesn't mean that you just throw away all your wants and desires for the rest of your life. That is extremely unhealthy, and it's that kind of behavior that really angers me now that I've had time to reflect and I've had personal insight. That's the type of behavior that leads to things like antenatal depression, postpartum depression, suicides in mothers, and it needs to stop, because all these people criticizing us, criticizing our decisions, telling us that our lives are over, it's just wrong. And you know, if you get stuck in that mindset, yes, those things are going to happen to you, but you have to realize that it's just a mindset. If you break free from that mindset and say, hey, listen, it's not selfish for me to go out there, get the education I want, resume the career that I love, go and take these classes, take up a hobby, continue seeing my friends, and that is going to be so beneficial for you and your child. Because if you are depressed and you are unhappy and you hate your life day to day, and you're not going out there and accomplishing your dreams and trying to set goals and make them a reality, you're going to be so distant from your child. And whether you realize it or not, in some way, to a degree, you're going to blame your child. That is something that can be avoided if you just take time to realize that all of these things can be accomplished, and the only reason they're not is because all these people keep telling you. It's been hard when I've been pregnant, because when you're pregnant, you're emotional, you're vulnerable, you look for people to cling to, you look for a sense of community, a sense of support, and you kind of just listen to people because you're so scared, or you know, you just kind of don't know what to do, especially if it's your first child. So in the beginning, I was very much about that negative mindset. And it's not selfish for me to have desires of my own, because the happier you are, you're gonna be giving your child a better life. You're gonna get better means. You're gonna be able to move up in your life. You're gonna be showing your child and setting the example. I'm here and I'm fighting for us. And they're gonna see you going out there and doing the stuff they love. And something that I really want my son to learn is that you should do what you love no matter what people think. Do what you love to do. Okay, so the fifth thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens. This one is actually like a positive for all you girls out there. So this one is that you won't gain as much weight when you're pregnant, and you'll bounce back much faster. So I only gained about 22 pounds. I think it was 22 or 23. I have to check pounds in my pregnancy. And so far it's about 6 weeks in, and I've only have 6 pounds left to lose before I'm back at my pre-pregnancy weight. Our bodies are much kinder to us during the pregnancy process than women who are maybe a little bit older. Our bodies are more able to withstand the changes. The sixth thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant. When strangers see you on the street, half of them are gonna pity you and maybe feel sorry for you, and that's something that women who are married and who are older will never understand, is people coming up to you, judging you, or feeling sorry for you and pitying you, and they don't even know you, and they just assume your life story. They just assume everything into this one stereotype. The seventh thing I wish I knew is that for some reason a ton of people will come up to you and ask a lot of uncomfortable and very personal questions, and they'll just think it's okay because you're younger than them and they're older than you. They think it's perfectly fine to just ask you somewhat inappropriate questions. Like, I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask me, like, oh, why weren't you being safe? Are you still with the father of the baby? When did you lose your virginity? Did you consider an abortion? And I wasn't exaggerating with any of these. All of these questions that I just said to you guys, I've gotten asked all of those questions. So the eighth thing I wish I knew, this one is a little more kind of talked about in the young pregnancy community. And this one is that you're gonna lose people in your life, and not all of it comes from just the lack of being able to socialize more and go out in settings more, because since I've had Jace, I haven't really felt like I've been that debilitated in going out. I don't drive, so that's been the only thing that's kind of held me back, and if I could drive, I would go places with him and I would see people and then it wouldn't be an issue. Some people in your life will kind of just fade away, and why, I'm not really exactly sure. For whatever reason, you're just gonna feel a disconnect once you have your baby, and it doesn't necessarily stem from the reasoning that you can't go out and party with your friends or whatever. That's kind of more of the stereotype cliche. And the ninth thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens is that you have to work twice as hard as the rest of the pregnant moms out there who are a little bit older than you. This is really important, and it took me a while to realize it because I kind of had an idea of what I was supposed to be when I was pregnant, but then I realized because of my age that I needed to work twice as hard to achieve where I wanted to be in that vision, if that makes sense. So kind of go into my own story. I had to leave college. Lots of times you have to think about your schooling and you have to go out and find a job, which is very different than being pregnant and having a job. When you are pregnant and you go and look for a job, yes, it's against the law for people to discriminate against you, but that doesn't mean they can not do so in kind of sly ways. For me and a lot of other girls, you have the obstacle of moving in somewhere and moving out. Now, Garrett and I didn't get any financial help for moving into this place. Garrett paid for the majority of this place, but I ended up finding a job. I was able to make some money, so I was helping in terms of buying groceries, and I did put money towards this apartment originally, but Garrett did pay the majority of the bills. So it is extremely hard. There's so many factors to consider, and kind of trying to figure out your schooling, trying to find a job, trying to move out, trying to buy all these baby things, maybe getting into fights with your parents if you don't have a good support system, getting into fights with your other family, getting into fights with your boyfriend's family or your partner's family. On top of that, if you don't have good relationships with people, kind of figuring out what kind of parent you want to be, what kind of stuff you actually need for your child. I was fortunate enough to have a lot of people give me advice and give me input. However, I know a lot of girls are not that fortunate, and it's just incredibly hard. And if you want to accomplish your goals, it's extremely hard, and it's really daunting to look at the amount of things to get done. But I'm telling you guys, if you take it one step at a time, it really is manageable, and it's so important that you just do these things for yourself. It was really hard for me. I had some slip-ups. There are still other things that I want to achieve now that I didn't get to do before Jace was born, but I still am very focused on achieving. But I was very happy with the state of my life when Jace was born versus when I became pregnant. And that's the scary thing about being pregnant when you're a teenager, is that your life is in one place when you're pregnant, and you have to completely change your life to get to another point within 9 months. Younger moms, they might not even know what they want to do with their life yet. But I encourage you, if you're young and you're pregnant and you don't know what to do, I encourage you to make goals for yourself. You can achieve these goals. Start really small. Start with the smallest goal. Try to find something to keep you occupied while you're pregnant. Try to find some way to advance yourself, whether it's going to school, finding a job, whatever. And the 10th and final thing I wish I knew before getting pregnant in my teens is that your life is not over. Despite what everyone tells you, despite all these people saying that you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're never going to experience this, you're missing out, just ignore it. This is so important, and as soon as you realize that your life is not over and there is nothing holding you back except for all of these negative voices in your head, you can really achieve anything. I promise you guys. I promise you guys. So please go out there, achieve, set some goals, go out there and kill it. You guys are strong and you're beautiful, and just know that if there's no one there for you, I'll be there for you. Make sure the people in your support group are actually there to support you. Make sure they want what you want. Don't just listen to people willy-nilly. Don't just listen to any random parenting advice. Listen to your gut. Listen to your instincts. Surround yourself with positive and happy people who are going to be there for you to support your pregnancy. If your family threw you out, find friends, find anybody who is there willing to listen to help you guys. It doesn't have to be a partner. It doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be your best friend. Just find somebody in your life that you can trust and you can count on to help you, support you through this. Achieve those goals, guys. and message me if you have any concerns, if you want to talk, if you have any questions, if you want me to make any more advice videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. This video I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about young girls finding themselves instead of getting lost. It really means so much to me. I would love to have you guys as a subscriber if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.